ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोर्श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरोर्नवैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सागररघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांश्च। नमः ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामये। नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। जयतां सुरतो पंगो मौ मंदमतिर्गति मत्सर्वस्य पदाम्भोजौ राधा मदर मोहनौ दिव्य वृंदारण्यकल्पद्रुमादः श्रीमद्रत्नागार सिंहासनस्थो श्रीमद् राधा श्रील गोविंद देवो प्रेष्ठालिभि सेव्यमानो स्मरामि। श्रीमान् रासरसारंभे वंशी वटतटस्थितः कर्षन् वेणु स्वनैर्गोपी गोपीनाथ श्रियस्तु नः। तप्त कांचन गौरांगे राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। पंचतत्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकं। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Now we'll get to the second story. This is the story of Brahmana's blessings, and this is the story of how demons bounced back. So this is story of victory of Bali Maharaj. So we are going to hear the victory of Bali Maharaj, what he did, how he bounced back. So he felt, as I mentioned in just few minutes before, so he did not take the defeat as a once for all the destruction. He took that, okay, it has happened, let me take something, let me take a different path. So here we need to understand how to understand a person is a conditioned soul, a person is a liberated soul. Conditioned soul, the main nature is he cannot understand what was previous. Bhuta bhavishyat vartamana. He is unaware of bhuta bhavishyat vartamana. For example, bhutam is what actually passed away. In your previous life, what happened? You don't know. As we discussed, okay, what was your on your first birthday, what you ate? You can't remember. So that is the previous thing. What happened? We don't know. What is going to happen in future? You don't know. And what actually happening now? Or we think that we know, but we don't know. What's happening behind? We don't know. What is happening in the next room? We don't know. So even the bhuta bhavishya vartamana also is very difficult unless it happens in front of you. So that is situation. This is the symptom of the conditioned soul. But the liberated souls, they know very well. They are actually called sarvagya. Sarvagya means they know bhuta bhavishyat vartamana. They know the past tense, they know the future tense, and they know the present, what is happening. And even Lord Krishna says same thing, that Vedaham samatitane vartamanani chachana bhavishyancha bhutane mamtu vedana kashana. I know, my dear Arjuna, I know what Vedaham samatitane vartamane. What is happening now? What has happened? What is going to happen? I know, but nobody knows me. But those who really kept the Supreme Lord Krishna in their heart, they demonstrate this particular quality of Sarvagya. They understand, and we see this type of activities some demonstrated by Narada Muni and Shukdev Goswami. They are liberated souls. They are actually liberated souls. So whatever is going to happen in future also, and whatever actually happened in their previous life, they keep on narrating, which shows that they are not conditioned. They demonstrate the same nature of Supreme Lord, who is also completely aware of whatever thing. Even Krishna says same thing, that Bahuni me veditane janmani tavachajana. My dear Arjun, for you and for me, so many lives passed. I remember all of them, but you don't remember. So this shows that Krishna is not conditioned, whereas Arjuna was conditioned. So this is an indication. If you are forgetting something, so need not worry. Yes, this is a conditioned soul's activity. This is conditioned soul nature. So Shukdev Goswami was demonstrating to Parikshit Maharaj that how perfectly he knows the future and how perfectly he knows the past. He gives picture. Say he gave one narration. He gave wonderful narration that in a day of Brahma, we discussed at some point of time. You also remember, in a day of Brahma, there will be thousand the Yuga Chakras, the four Yuga is called one chakra. It moves 1,000 times. So the 1,000 times the Yuga Chakra moves, and in this 1,000 time of Yuga Chakra, the one day of Brahma, there will be 14 Manus. 14 Manus come as the for creation of the Manava, because all Manavas, they come from Manu. So Manu is actually the person who is the controller of human beings. So there are 14 Manus, they come. So presently 7th Manu is running, that is Vaivasvata Manvantara. This presently what is running is Vaivasvata Manvantara, and this is a very special time, because this Vaivasvata Manvantara only Lord Krishna appeared, Swayam Bhagavan, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared. This is a very beautiful and very happy situation. All of us, we are actually relishing it. So as per when the Shukadeva Goswami is speaking, he could know, or he should have known only the 7 Manvantras, but he even told who are going to be the 7 future Manus who are going to come. So he is not a conditioned soul, he is a liberated soul. In that way he demonstrates. So in the beginning, yesterday also we have heard that the first Manu is the Swayambhuva Manu, who actually appeared from Brahma's body itself. Then came Swarochisha Manu after the 41 Yuga Chakras. Then the third, we have yesterday discussed the Uttama Manu, we have seen. Then Tamasa Manu we have seen. Then Raivata Manu we have seen. Chakshusha Manu, in that the Ajita, who has actually churned the milk ocean, who came, and presently is Vaivasvata Manu. Vaivasvata Manu, 7th one, now it is running. That's why Krishna also says that Imam Vivasvate Yogam Proktavan Aham Avayam Vivasvan Manave Praha Manurikshakave Bhavid. So Vivasvan is the sun god, and this Vivasvan has told the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita to Manu. Vivasvan Manave Praha. So he told. So the Vaivasvata Manu is a good student of Bhagavad Gita. So presently the Manu who is there is very, very intelligent person, is very great personality, because he got the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita through Vivasvan. So that's why it's called Vaivasvata Manu. So in the next comes to the Savarni Manvantara, and next comes Daksha Savarni, and then comes Brahma Savarni, next Dharma Savarni, next Rudra Savarni, Deva Savarni, Indra Savarni. Like this, there are 7 more Manus are going to come. So to Parikshit Maharaj, Shukadeva Goswami giving what is going to be the future. 7 more Manus, means 7 into 41 Yuga Chakras. he is telling that who is going to come. 71. The Yuga Chakras, for the 71 Yuga Chakras and 14 Manus. So each Manu will have 71 Yuga Chakras. So the 71 into 7, he is telling that in the future these great personalities are going to come. And not only that, during that Manvantara, who is going to be Indra, and who are going to be the Saptarshis, and who are going to be the Devatas, that also he has given complete narration. Just imagine. Not only who is going to be Manu, he said who is going to be Indra during that period. So here, for example, now Vaivasvata Manvantara, some Indra is there. We are talking about his story only. Fighting is going on. So the Bali Maharaj fought with an Indra and got beaten and almost dead. So that Indra is the present Indra. So when the next Manvantara comes, that is Savarni Manvantara. So he said that this Bali Maharaj is going to become Indra. So he has given in the various Manvantaras who is going to be Manu, who is going to be Indra, who are going to be the Saptarshis, and who are going to be Devata. Just imagine. By this real narration, he has really gave a clear picture that he is a liberated soul and he is equal to Supreme Lord Krishna. He gives very, very clear picture. And now getting back to our story. So when demigods went with all enjoyment, victory punches and victory shoutings, they went and they started enjoying. And the demons came back all defeated, almost dead, but they have a very powerful Brahmana, powerful Kulaguru. He is Shukracharya. So Shukracharya has a great technology of medicine, that is Sanjeevani. It's called Mrita Sanjeevani Vidya. This story comes also later. We can discuss that. So he has the Sanjeevani Vidya. With that they have given life back to Bali Maharaj and given life to so many demons also. Then they thought that, okay, let us make this Bali Maharaj very strong, very powerful. Okay, he may be deprived of the nectar, Amrita, but we'll give more powerful than that, they thought. You see, just imagine, that is if you somehow get into the heart of a Brahmana. So here Shukracharya is not a demon, Shukracharya is a Brahmana. So Brahmana has the power. Yes, Brahmana has the power. He can really give even more stronger. He can give blessings. So they felt that it is their duty to give him the glories. And they made him to perform one yajna. It is called Vishwajit Yajna. Vishwajit means he can conquer the Vishwa. And when they did yajna, making Bali Maharaj as Yajman, they found a golden chariot, and the horses are yellowish in color, special, and they have a Simha Dhwaja, and he got a powerful bow and Akshay Tunira. Then he got two Akshay Tunira, and he got one very strong armor. And Bali Maharaj wore all of them, and at that time Bali Maharaj's grandfather Prahlad Maharaj came and gave him a garland which will never get withered, and Shukracharya gave him a conch shell, and with everything is equipped, he got into the chariot. Before that he took the blessings of all Brahmanas, Shukracharya also, He went straight. And of course he paid obeisances to his grandfather, Prahlad Maharaj, and he took all the Asura Veeras, and now they become very confident. And he went to Swarga. He went to Swarga and just he simply blew that conch shell which was given by Shukracharya. As we discussed, from then till now, Indra was only enjoying. Forget about 24 hours. So many years passed. He was only enjoying. Till he just heard the blowing of conch shell. That conch shell blowing was so much terrifying. He got something, danger is going to happen. That conch shell sound itself indicated that great danger simply came in front of him. And all the demigods have become fearful, because it was not an ordinary sound of a conch shell. It is something different, something terrifying, something giving that a great danger is looming on them. And when he saw from long distance that the Bali Maharaj appeared to be so much flooded with enthusiasm. He could not understand how come he was almost defeated and he is almost dead. How come he has become so strong, so much enthusiastic? And he immediately went to Bruhaspati, that is spiritual master, and asked him. He asked him, what is the reason for this enthusiasm and confidence of this Bali Maharaj? He asked one question. Because all these Rishi Munis, they were having Dura Drushti, they know what's happening. They immediately said, presently Bali Maharaj has become strong because of the blessings of Brahmanas. Somebody may say that, also Brahmana, you can bless me. But already Indra lost the blessings of his master. Okay, there may be some patch up relation, but the heart is not with this Indra. And there, in the Bali Maharaj case, it's totally different. That Bali Maharaj, they want to really make him the real master of all the three universes. They are determined, because though they are Brahmanas, now they are actually serving, or they are helping or advising or guiding the Asuras. They want to see him that he is at the best. And then Bruhaspati mentioned that now, because of the blessings of Brahmanas, the Bali Maharaj and demons are very strong. So much strong that nobody can defeat them except Supreme Lord Vishnu. Except Vishnu, nobody can. So you don't make any efforts. Let the scene change. That he again become weak. When he become weak, only you can go. Now you cannot fight. You cannot go and fight. And you just understand that by the mercy and blessings of Brahmanas only, Bali Maharaj has become so strong. But when he gets the curse of Brahmanas, then he will lose everything. That is right time to attack on him. So my advice is that you simply go out from this heaven. It is not right time. Then when Bruhaspati, his master, when he mentioned Indra had no option than to get away along with all the demigods from the heavenly planet. So here, even without fighting, he just simply surrendered. Even he did not go in front of him, he just went away from that. And Indra just came and saw that Bali Maharaj came inside and he did not find Indra. Indra already left in different incognito or Prachanda Rupa or formless. He went to the earthly planet, and immediately Bali Maharaj occupied the heaven. And when he went and sat on this, and all Shukracharya and all Brahmanas become very happy that their master could really win the three worlds. But they are aware, the present Indra did 100 Ashwamedha Yajnas to get that position. Whereas now Bali Maharaj has gone by power and only by Brahmanas' blessings he went. So, but there is a norm that if somebody wants to go and sit on the throne of a Indra, he has to really perform 100 Ashwamedha Yajnas. So they ensured that to fulfill that criteria, they immediately got 100 Ashwamedha Yajnas performed, so that his criteria is also fulfilled. In that way, you see, the enjoyment, the Bali Maharaj might have enjoyed one day after, but he did not stop. He continued further. He continued 100 Ashwamedha Yajna, means always busy. Only 24 hours principle. Either enjoyment 24 hours or agony is also 24 hours. So he was always preparedness, in the preparation mode. In this way, by yajnas also he became powerful, by the blessings of Brahmana also he became powerful, and demigods went away and they are moving in a different form on the earth without any food and shelter. That obviously would make mother of demigods very morose. That mother of demigods is Aditi. So we have heard at one point of time that Diti became very much disturbed when Hiranyaksha, Hiranyakashipu were killed by Vishnu, and she is wife of, that is, she is Diti and she is wife of Kashyapa. Now the situation is reversed. Now the Diti's sons and grandsons and great grandsons, they are now flourishing. She is very happy. But the other wife, she became unhappy. That Aditi became very unhappy. So she was worried about, because they don't have even place to stay. The demigod doesn't have place to stay, and she became very morose. When she became morose, and one day Kashyap Prajapati came to the hermitage, because he was in trance and was doing special tapasya, went for a long time outside, and he came to home and he saw his wife is not doing well. Not doing well will be known immediately from the face. Face is the index of mind. So immediately first asked, are you following the religious principle perfectly? Are you following dharma? So he asked some 3 important questions because he is a Gruhastha. He asked 3 questions. A Gruhastha will become morose when he transgresses 3 activities. Number 1 is, if he is not following dharma. If he is not following dharma, he will become morose. He will face difficulties and he will become morose. Number 2, and he should not be doing any harm. He should not be disobeying Brahmanas. If they disobey the Brahmanas, if they do any harm to Brahmanas, the Gruhastha will become morose. And also, 3rd is, a Gruhastha responsibility is to do Atiti Seva. Whoever is coming into guest, they should be serving. That is Gruhastha Ashrama Dharma. Atiti Devo Bhava. So Atiti is like a Deva. So they should be doing. So these are the 3 basic principles. By following that, a Gruhastha will be very happy, prosperous, and not attempting to do this or really pushing them out or digressing from that will make them unhappy, distressful. So that's why Kashyap Prajapati asked Aditi, are you doing all these things? And afterwards he asked, okay, are you your health is okay? Are your children are okay? Then she, without any deceiving nature or without any duplicity, she clearly mentioned that I am following dharma, I am serving cows, I am serving brahmanas, and when you are my master, where is the question of we digressing from dharma? I have only one problem, that my children devas, they don't have even a shelter. They are suffering and they are just moving in a formless and in a incognito they are moving. So when they are without food and shelter, how a mother will be unhappy? So please help me so that my children will get all opulences back. She was very good. So if you look at it, Diti and Aditi, Diti was asking also same favor, but she was asking a favor that she wants to get a son who can kill Indra. So that was the approach of Diti. But Aditi was asking, let my children get back their opulence. So there is a difference. What you want to really take revenge, or you want to become situated in happiness? So this is, even if you want to know, if you want to get something for you, and without talking about this and that is just okay. But because Aditi is in Sattva Guna, she asked this question, that I want my all sons, they want to be situated back in opulence. This is my request. Then Kashyap Prajapati felt little amused that it's all, even in this heavenly planets, still the attraction for the wife, woman, children, it is not going out. It's all, we can say, Vishnu Maya midam jagat. So we can understand from this that the attraction toward children, wife, even if you go to the heavenly planet, the same thing will continue. Unless until we cross over these 7 worlds to the spiritual world. At that time, our attraction is only towards Krishna. So then anyway, he mentioned, whatever may be your desire, if you serve the Supreme Lord, you can really get things. So I am advising you a process which is called Pumsavana Vrata. No, this is called Payovrata. Actually, Diti was given Pumsavana Vrata by Kashyapa, and here he has given Payovrata. So, and for Diti, Kashyap Prajapati has given a process for 1 year, whereas for Aditi, he has given only for 12 days. Because there the intention was to delay the process. At the same time, the Kashyap Prajapati wanted to bring a change in the heart of Diti. Here there is no problem. She is a Sattva Guna and everything is connected to devotees only, and she is going to serve the Supreme Lord. So 12 days is sufficient. So within 12 days, so he has given this 12 days process done in Falguna Masa, Falguna Shukla Paksha Dwadashi. From this process should be done, and by serving Lord Vishnu, he has given an elaborate process. Thereby serving, your desire will be fulfilled. The Kashyap Prajapati mentioned, and the Aditi took that vrata, and 12 days she worshipped, and simply by very seriously, this Payo Vrata is nothing but drinking milk and really making all the activities of Supreme Lord every day, doing Abhishek, Panchamrita Abhishek, and then giving him nice kheer every day, offering nice kheer made of with rice, milk and jaggery. In that way there is a beautiful process is given. When Aditi did this for 12 days, the Supreme Lord Narayana appeared in her hermitage state. And when he appeared in the 400 form with Shankachakra Padma, Aditi worshipped and glorified him unlimitedly, and she simply said that if you are pleased, what will not be obtained by anybody, and what to talk about the victory over the enemies, etc. These are all simple. Like that she said, and she did not say anything about what she wants. But the Lord Narayana Lord Krishna told very clearly, my dear Aditi, what is Deva Mata, what is there in your heart is known to me. You are thinking about the welfare of your sons, and you want them to get all opulences back, and you want to serve along with them me sincerely. I know very well to enjoy yourself, but you want to peacefully serve me along with your sons. So at this point of time, Bali Maharaj is invincible, he cannot be defeated. When he loses the mercy of Brahmanas, he will become defeatable. At that time I will do it, and till then it's not possible. But however, since you worship me, the worship will never go waste. Worship will never go waste, and I will see that the Kashyapa Prajapati is very austere person. He is doing tapasya, and we also did lot of vrata. So I have decided that I will appear as son to you, and by becoming your son, I will protect all your sons. So the Supreme Lord just mentioned, so beautiful, just by dedicated devotional service, he appeared like that, and he entered, the Supreme Lord Narayana entered into the heart of Kashyapa. Kashyapa Prajapati is an Amogha Darshana. He understood immediately that something great is happening. So he understood that the Lord has entered into a heart. So then he got transferred into the womb of Aditi. And from Aditi's womb, one should not be thinking that the Supreme Lord appeared by the mixing of Anda and Virya. No, it has not. It is the Lord is beyond this material conceptions. And when when Brahma came to know that Supreme Lord Vishnu in the womb of Aditi, he came and worshipped and glorified him, and all the auspicious things appeared. All the auspicious things appeared, and the Lord is going to appear immediately in the next story. So here we should understand that the platform or the scenario is created. Scenario is created for Lord's appearance, and we came to know that how Bali Maharaj really attained everything, and even he became invincible for anybody. That the Lord has to really take an incarnation. Lord has to take an incarnation, and that is the power of devotion to Brahmanas. And the speciality of the avatara which is going to come is he is going to be a very beautiful form. He is going to have a very beautiful form, and how he is going to really protect as the son of Aditi, as he is going to appear as son of Aditi and protect Indra and all the demigods. That we'll see in the next story. So this comes to the end of the second story, the victory of Bali Maharaj.